video is sponsored by Squishy Magic, but we'll talk more about that later.
Hey, it's me. That kind of sounded like I was auto-tuned. Hey, it's me. Today, I'm doing another episode of Create This Book 2. I still have quite a lot to do in this book. There's so many blank pages. I've done nothing. But that's the thing about these books. These things can take a long time to complete. Usually for me, they take between a year and 3 years. I definitely like to take my time. Getting distracted by the ceiling. The most interesting of places. Anyway, I'm gonna stop blabbing. Let's get into it.
Okay, here we go. I always seem to do some light caressing of the book at the start, so let's not skip that. And let me flip to the first page for today. Here it is. It says, create an assortment. Fill in each box with something different. And then we have an assortment of boxes. They're waiting to be filled with wonderful magical things. So looking at this page, I see many options. We could go completely random and put something completely different in each box, or we could select a category like food or animals or toiletries. I don't know why I thought of toiletries, but I've made my decision. I'm gonna grab my crusty paint-covered pencil. It is not helping the aesthetics of this video. I'm just gonna start drawing here, and let's see how long it takes you to recognize what I'm drawing.
Do you get it yet?
I don't get it.
It's Pickle the dinosaur. I've decided to draw a different one of my original characters in each box. I think I've only done like one page in this entire book that features any of my characters. Well, of course, except for any characters that were developed in the book. Obviously, I can't include all the characters here, so I'm sorry to those of you who may not be a part of this. Let's acknowledge them as well. But I did try to get a nice variety. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. Looks like the yearbook of a very strange academy. Now for the color, I decided to go with colored pencils. I went for a nice, clean, block shading kind of style, no outlines. I quite enjoy the look of that. Moving on to the next green creature over here.
It's Froggy.
Except, oops, that's not correct Froggy color. This is actually a newer character of mine, so this would be the first time he's ever been featured. Congratulations! Welcome, welcome.
You have arrived at a very special place.
And this is looking good so far, but it needs something. Juicy highlights. Yes, that's what it was. Add a little shine in there and just watch them come alive. Next, I'm moving on to Cupid. Okay, phone's going underneath the book. Needed a little back support there. That's what phones are for, right? Drawing surfaces and paperweights. That's what I use my phone for. Oh look, another blob is here. This is my plumfish blob. I absolutely love this box. I don't know, I just think it looks cool. The way she's cropped.
Girl.
This is what I call fine art. Portrait of a blob. I've done it today. I am an artist. Oh, of course. Now's the perfect time to make a stupid mistake.
Dumb.
Yeah, I colored the jelly hamster with the wrong color, so now I get to try to correct that. Alright, you're not an artist anymore. You're nothing. And you're clumsy. Come on now. I'm just gonna go along with the page, continuing to fill in character by character. I honestly thought that this would be a really quick and easy page to do, and it was pretty easy because, you know, I already have these characters designed and everything, but it definitely was not quick. This ended up taking much longer than expected. Just, you know, taking the time to fill in all the little details of everyone, and of course using colored pencils. I love them, but they do not love me back. You really feel the burn when using colored pencils for a long time. So this page came with a fair share of that lovely burning and hand cramping. Do your hands ever get conditioned to that, or am I just destined for painful colored pencil usage for all of eternity? Once I got all the characters drawn in, I'm going through and adding some contrasting backgrounds, trying to create that, you know, randomized look, which in reality is the least random way possible because it takes a lot of careful coordination caution to not put the same color too close. Like right there, the two blue boxes next to each other. You shouldn't have done that. You thought you could get away with it? You thought we weren't gonna see it just because it's the squishy ghost in there? No, I can still see you. I did decide to go over the boxes with black to give them a bolder, thicker outline that matches the style. There it is. And the last step is a critical step. I'm going to bring out my matte Mod Podge and carefully apply that over both pages to make sure that the colored pencil doesn't smudge within the book, immediately removing the scrap paper from behind, and this page is finished. It has a very bold and colorful look to it, which I really love. Of course, it includes all of these little faces that I'm always so happy to see, and I already loved them. And it almost has like a comic feel to it. Speaking of my characters, some of which have come from Squishies, I want to take a moment to show you this awesome app because this video is sponsored by Squishy Magic. Squishy Magic is a free app with optional in-game purchases available for your smartphone or tablet. The magic of this app is that you can paint squishies virtually and make an entire collection of unique squishy creations. I use it all the time. It's super fun and relaxing to do. It's just so satisfying how quickly you can try new colors and patterns and designs on so many different squishies. The amount of options is crazy. Plus, you can even squish them. And Squishy Magic now has a complete me collection available for a limited time with some of my original characters, and you can play around with redesigning them however you would have painted them. And now there's a brand new addition to the collection. It's Cupie, the human cupcake, one of my personal favorites, and doesn't she look amazing? Be sure to check out Squishy Magic and download for free using the link in the description. And thank you to Squishy Magic for sponsoring this video. Alrighty, so that's done, finished, complete. I don't know why I needed to use all of those words. One would have been fine. Let me flip forward to the next page I'm going to do in this episode. This page says, create a makeover. Find something that could use some improvement, give it a makeover. And then we have a space for the before as well as the after. So I dug up this little girl, because I thought she'd be perfect for a makeover. Anyone remember me unboxing this one? I have no memory of unboxing it. Clearly I did at some point. It's a little panda squishy with random paint and marker scribbles all over it. Definitely looks like intentional defacement. This did not happen by accident. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a picture of the squishy as she is now for the before photo. It's not a photo, it's drawing. And she's kind of bobbing around while I'm doing this. Okay, you're gonna have to sit still so I can look at you. Here, lay on this little duck.
Shop our holiday best deals now through Saturday at Target. Save on select Beats headphones.
So once I got the shape pretty well squared away, I'm going to lighten those pencil lines a little bit, and it's time for the color. Now, I chose this squishy out because honestly, I thought it was ugly. No offense, I mean, that's the whole reason that it's here for a makeover. I didn't like the blue. I thought that the little vine she was holding was dumb, and then of course the whole scribbled crap all over her face. But as I spent more time drawing it, I kind of started to grow attached to it, and I think the blue actually kind of suits her, and the vine is kind of cute. The scribbles, you know, those are still a problem, but I did kind of warm up to the design of this one. Although I'm not a fan of how all the little panda patches are blue, except for the ones around her eyes. It makes them really super intense, like black holes.
Hi, Twinkle Toes.
And it's time to draw on all this horrible mess of scribbles. I didn't take the time to replicate every single little tiny detail exactly. I just realized I drew the eyes completely wrong. But you know, we get the idea. Now, instead of doing an actual squishy makeover, I'm just going to draw the makeover as I imagine it. This was actually really fun to do. I think because I did that first page with a lot of my characters which came from squishy makeovers, it got me in a makeover mood, but I was also in a drawing mood. This was just like the perfect page to feed my creativity. Now, since I am just drawing this makeover, it's not restricted to what I could do in a normal squishy makeover with foam. The sky's the limit, okay? I can pretty much make this look however I want. Not that I did anything really crazy, but it did make it really fun to do. I did end up keeping the blue, which was not in my original vision.
Feelings change.
I I did change the eye patches and I made those blue as well, which I thought helped a lot to make her look not like she's dying. And then I added this little ruffled pink skirt. She really wanted to wear this skirt. Inside, she's a girly, glam kind of panda. Somebody had taken away her sparkle with only a stupid vine to hold on to. We're gonna clean her up and give her all the accessories that her little glam heart desires. The ruffled skirt did get a little dodgy at times because I was not using any kind of reference. I did get a little lost in those ruffles. I also gave her a magic wand, like a Cinderella situation here where she was all nasty and then the fairy godmother was like, oh, here, bippity boppity and whatever, you're no longer disgusting. Wait, but then why is she holding the wand? I guess this is the alternative story where fairy godmother shows up, she kicks her into a ditch, and now she has ultimate power. And what's a collection of girly accessories without a giant bow? Nothing. Beyond the accessories, I also did go ahead and change her expression. You know, turn that frown upside down. She was dying inside before, but she's feeling good now. I added a ton of highlights to make her look all bright and shiny and clean in comparison to her old Cinderella self. They look a little floaty on the pages, so I added a really simple little background, just some basic shadows and shading to make them look like they're in a place in the world. Okay. Oh, that was kind of cool. Oh, cool. So from this to that, it's been a fascinating journey. I like how this page looks and all, but I think my favorite part about it was just how much fun it was to make. I really enjoyed designing a fantasy makeover scenario. Now, I know that at least some of you are going to ask me to do this makeover in real life. I mean, I guess I could try the ruffles, the bow, the wand. They're all very difficult items to create with foam. Anyway, we made a little glam panda very happy, and that's all that matters. Although we didn't actually, because the real little panda is still out there living its miserable existence. But we won't think about that. Okay, now I'm going to flip back a few pages for the final prompt of this episode, and it is create bleed. Use markers or paint and let the colors bleed through the page. So now we have to think, how do we want to make you bleed? I'm gonna go for watercolor. Watercolor bleeds through everything. So I need all of them that I have here with me. We need every color option. I'm gonna stick some paper towels behind here just to prevent the mess from going too far. We gotta stop the bleeding at some point or we might bleed out and then you die. I'm gonna start painting now.
Piano? No one's touched that thing in ages.
Honey, look! Kayla got
And in a rare turn of events, I decided to just wing it, which I hardly ever do. In fact, going in completely without a plan usually makes me unsettled, but I don't know. I just wanted to just dive right in and see what happens. Pretty quickly, it became clear that I'm painting some sort of weird landscape, so I'm just gonna go with that and just keep on adding and reinforcing this idea of a psychedelic landscape. And I'm thinking this actually does look kind of cool. Although it did lose a little bit of its soul when it dried. It got a little wispy and weak. Just a little bit. On the bright side, it did manage to create some really cool bleed, which of course was the goal. But now I still have this, and I don't think that it's complete. I don't want to add anything that's going to cause more bleeding because I like where we landed with that. So I decided to try a silver metallic paint pen and bring in some outlining to see if we can make this look a little more interesting, but the contrast just wasn't there. You can barely see the silver.
I don't like that.
So I went over all of that and I switched for colored pencil, which I guess I was a little bit more satisfied with because I kept going. The point of this prompt is that bleeding through pages is usually something that we have to deal with in these prompt books. We have to find clever ways to cover it up, fix it. So I thought it might be kind of interesting to have one page in the book where you actually let it happen and then try to work with it and not against it. So when the time comes to do this prompt, I will definitely find a way to incorporate the bleed into the design instead of trying to cover it up. Honestly though, I feel like one page is really enough, so I'll probably actually cover it up on this side. Also because I feel like this page has already got some very significant bleeding issues. It's just too much. I'm gonna cover all that up. This definitely isn't my favorite page ever, but it was kind of fun to do, and it was nice to just chill and do some experimenting. And it's different, you know, I don't dislike it. We can coexist just fine. So those are all the pages I have for you this episode. I had a lot of fun with this batch of prompts, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, and maybe got some inspiration for your own Create This book if you have one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!